Hey, what's going on guys, my name's Tag, and I'm back for another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'll be discussing how you can in fact level up fast within Fortnite Battle Royale during Season 7. With that being said, if you guys go in to enjoy the video, I'd appreciate a like. Also, for every 1,500 likes this video receives, I'll be giving away 1,500 V-Bucks. So the way you can in fact be entered in that giveaway is simply leave a like down below and comment stating what like you were. You literally have to comment stating what like you were because I cannot see who has left a like and who has not. And again, for every 1,500 likes this video receives, I'll be giving away 1,500 V-Bucks, and I will be announcing those winners in future videos. Also, if you'd like to be notified when I come out with more Fortnite content, then feel free to subscribe. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. Again, as I mentioned, today's video, I'm going to be discussing how you can in fact level up fast in Fortnite Battle Royale. Obviously, Season 7 literally just came out within, yesterday actually. So a lot of you guys are going to be low levels, obviously starting on level 1. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would like to know how you can get to higher and higher levels, obviously the max level being level 100. Now, I want to clarify real quick that there are two different ranking systems in Fortnite. There's the level and tier systems. So if you're wondering on how to tier up fast, I made a video on that yesterday, so check that out if that's what you're looking for. However, if you're focused mainly on the leveling up aspect, then you have come to the right place. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into the video. Now, it's pretty simple. The only way to level up in Fortnite is simply by getting XP. Now, in this video, I'm essentially just going to break down how to get the most amount of XP and the most efficient way to do so. So again, keep in mind there's no way to level up in Fortnite Battle Royale besides literally only getting XP. Now, as we all know, there's three main modes in Fortnite. There's solo, duos, and squads. Now, to be quite honest, the best way to get XP is by doing squads, and then duos, and then the least effective way is solos, but again, you can still get a lot of XP simply by doing that. So I'm going to go from least to worst, starting with solos. Now, this is what I play most of the time. I find solos to be the most enjoyable and the most competitive. So if you're like me and you play solos a lot, do not worry, you can still get a lot of XP and level up very fast. Now, the most important part and the most critical part about leveling up, whether you're playing solos, duos, or squads, is in fact playing semi-aggressive. You don't have to play overly aggressive and end up getting yourself eliminated back to back to back, but also at the same time, you cannot play passively whatsoever. And the reason for that is one of the best ways to get XP, in fact, is the amount of eliminations you get. So obviously, this goes without saying, if you play passively and you camp, you're not going to get a lot of eliminations. You'll get, 1, 2, maybe 3 eliminations per game. However, if you play semi-aggressively, you can get 7 to 8 eliminations per game. And if you play, very super aggressively, you can obviously get, 10 to 15 eliminations per game. And I think it's honestly not that hard to play semi-aggressive. I think that's more or less just a casual play style. And then, there's times where you're doing really well, exceptionally well, so you'll go ahead and play, over-aggressively. And I need you guys to understand the difference of semi-aggressive and passive-aggressive. This is a huge barrier to cross if you play very, very passive-aggressive. Now, when I first started playing Fortnite back in Season 1, I played extremely passive. I would camp in bushes, camp in trees, and do what a lot of the noobs do nowadays. And I would get, very, very little eliminations, maybe 2 eliminations at most. To be honest, the only way to get over playing passive-aggressive and get more eliminations is simply just go into a game and push and rush a lot of people, push just about everyone that you see. Now, I understand it's more or less just a mindset barrier. When you see people, of course, it's like a 50-50 chance that you'll survive that 1v1. So a lot of times you'll kind of push it off unless it's a necessity. What you need to start doing though is pushing that person regardless of the scenario. Obviously, if you have 1 health and they have full health, don't push them. But in a normal casual scenario, if you have a decent amount of health and you find somebody, go ahead and push them, and you'll see that you actually start to get way more eliminations and you start to become a better player overall. So that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is if you play passive aggressive and you're getting 3-4 eliminations per game, just push everyone that you see regardless of your loadout and how good you think you are at the game. You'll get a ton better and you will see that you start to get a lot more eliminations, which of course plays into a lot more XP, which means you'll level up a lot faster. Now, there's 3 main aspects to the XP that you get. Of course, there's a ton of different factors, but the main ones are eliminations, damage to opponents, as well as your placement. So obviously eliminations is how many people you eliminate, of course, the more the better. Then damage to other players is of course how much damage you deal to other players. So if you see somebody, take a few shots of them, get some damage on them. And then also third placement is how you place within the game. If you place top 10, that's going to be pretty well. It's obviously going to be a lot better than placing like 80th. And then of course placing like top 3 is going to be very, very well. And of course if you come in first, that's the best case scenario. So if you're playing on solos, again, rush everyone that you see. You'll become a lot better of a player and you'll get a lot more eliminations. Take shots at people out in the open and also do your absolute best to place really high in the game. That is the best thing you can do, and I would say a pretty decent game of solos to get a lot of XP. So a pretty good game would look like maybe 8 to 10 eliminations as a very good game. Also coming in first place, you'll get a lot of XP from that. And an exceptionally well game, extremely well game for XP would be 12 to 15 eliminations and coming in first. Now don't worry, if you come in first and you have 4, 5, 6 eliminations, do not worry, that is still a great amount of XP. Now moving into duos is the second best option, and I'll explain why. Now everything that I mentioned for solos still plays a factor and plays into duos as well, getting eliminations, dealing damage to opponents, as well as your placement. The only difference is you now have a partner, so someone who can help you. Now this is a pro and a con. So obviously in duos you have someone that's by your side to help you if you run into somebody else, but also at the same time, whenever you run into someone else, you're most likely going to run into 2 people at once. And that's obviously self-explanatory. You know what you're getting yourself into when you play duos. And again, eliminations, placement, and damage to opponents is going to be the most important parts about this. Now you're probably wondering why I put duos above solos. As I'm explaining it, it sounds like it's the exact same. Now the reason being is because the other player, or your partner rather, their eliminations actually help you get XP as well, because it actually gives you assists. So if you deal damage to other opponents and your partner gets the elimination, then you have an assist on top of that, and that's getting you more XP than if you were to play solos and get a single elimination. And also a very important part is if you play with someone else in Fortnite Battle Royale, so if you play with someone on duos, they actually give you an XP boost, and this pertains to their tier. So if they're like tier 30, you'll get maybe a 25 to 50% XP boost, and if they're tier like 70 and up, then you'll get around a 250% XP boost simply by playing with them. And if you're wondering what that means, basically if you're playing with someone with a 250% XP boost, you're literally getting 2.5 times the amount of XP that you'd be getting without playing with them. If you're wondering why, it's just simply because they're high tier. There's no other reason. It's just, I guess, a bonus or a pro for playing duos. Now, that's mainly it for duos, and now we're going to get into squads. Squads is the exact same thing that I talked about for duos and solos. Again, eliminations, placement, and damage to other opponents. And again, like I mentioned with duos, it's going to be a lot better because you're going to get a lot more assists simply by playing with people. And again, just as I mentioned literally a few seconds ago, when you play duos with somebody, you get a XP boost. So if you're playing with a full squad, you get 3 people's XP boost. So let's say you're playing with 3 people that are around tier 70, you're going to get 250% XP boost per person, which of course if you're playing with a full squad, that's going to be 750% XP boost per game. So doing some pretty simple math, playing one game of squads with a full squad of 250% XP boost is equivalent to playing 7.5 solo games. So playing squads is going to be your absolute best bet if you're focusing on leveling up. And if you're looking for people to play squads with or duos with, definitely comment down below if you can't find anyone to play with. So comment down below stating your gamertag, PSN, or Epic account name, as well as the console you play on, and also the tier. Now keep in mind, you can in fact cross-platform play. So if you're on Xbox, you can play with PS4 players and also PC players, and of course vice versa. So again, comment down below your tier, as well as the console you play on, and your gamertag, PSN, and or Epic account name, and find a full squad to get together with, and utilize everything that I mentioned in this video. Once again, that's eliminations, placements, and also damage to other opponents. That's basically what plays into the leveling up system. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and hopefully it made sense. I try to simplify it the best that I possibly could and leave this video very clean and take out any fluff and just get straight to the point. So if you guys enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like down below. Also, as I mentioned, for every 1,500 likes this video receives, I'll be giving away 1,500 V-Bucks. So in order to be interested in that, you have to leave a like and you have to comment down below stating what like you were. Otherwise, I will not see if you left a like or not. Also, if you would like to see more Fortnite content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is Gamertag. I really appreciate all of you guys watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Adios.